So we could open up the podcast today talking about how Hasbro has sold a huge chunk of their E1 Entertainment division in order to kind of make up for some of the money lost over the past couple of days. But we'll save that for the live stream on the weekend. I think there's a lot more that needs to be read and dissected before I talk about that on the podcast. And hopefully by Saturday and this weekend, we'll know more about it. So let's talk about some cool stuff instead. We don't talk about third-party stuff often on the podcast because a lot of it sometimes doesn't really have a proper place in the fandom. It's more just filling a hole that will probably be filled, giggity, at some point by Takara. But this is one that, man, oh man, you got to call a spade a spade. You got to say when something looks really good, you just got to talk about it. And TransArts Toys, I've talked about them in the past. They've been doing these Beast Wars Transmetal masterpiece scale figures of such a high quality and caliber with tons of interchangeable parts and accessories and everything. And I've not talked about a lot of them on the podcast. I usually kind of skipped over some, primarily because they were characters that, one day Takara's going to do it. But this is one that I'm going like, man, I don't know if we're ever going to see one of this guy. So let's talk about it. TransArts Toys BWM07 Metal Rat. You can probably guess who I'm talking about if you haven't looked at the images. Transmetal Rattrap, masterpiece scale. Now, the reason why I feel that he's going to it's going to take a while before we get that, because he's one that even in the regular non-Transmetal version, we're still waiting for a masterpiece of that. And considering how Hasbro and Takara really just kind of like putting out smaller retail versions of them, I honestly, I see like Rhinox happening beforehand, before we see Rattrap, and let alone the Transmetal. Like, it's going to probably take 10 years minimum before we even see a Transmetal Rattrap. And, some of us don't want to wait that long. And it's incredible what they did here that, I can't imagine what Takara would do that would be better. It's incredible. Now, TransArts Toys have done other stuff in the past. Their very first release that they did, the BWM01 Strange Friend, which was Transmutate, that one was a little rough. That was their first release. It wasn't the best. The coloring wasn't really accurate. The bells and whistles weren't really there, but they were figuring out stuff. They came back a couple years later, and then they did BWM02 Skateboard Gorilla. Probably could take a guess who that is. And Transmetal Optimus Primal, and it was incredible. Incredible. The scaling was great with your other masterpiece, Beast Wars stuff, the accessories, the extras, incredible figure. And then they did BWM03, Leopard Commander, Transmetal Cheetor, another banger, another amazing one right out of the gate, did stuff that the original toy only dreamed of being able to do. BWM04, Black Agent, the Beast Wars Ravage. That one was given to me by longtime patron Michael Koo, and when I got that one, I was like, oh my God, like, this is incredible. Like, they put magnets in the side. They did stuff that at the same time, Hasbro and Takara did their Tripredicus Agent set there with the G1 for the Hasbro Pulse exclusive. And it was good. It was fine, but it definitely wasn't this one. It was, again, you're kind of comparing a retail more kind of item to a masterpiece, so it probably isn't that fair. But man, it's incredible, that one. All the stuff that was going on. They did BWM05, the Mighty Guardian, which was their Optimal Optimus. That one was good, but the big complaint a lot of people had was that the size wasn't there. It was definitely bigger than the original Optimal Optimus, which already is a feat in itself. But they felt that scale-wise it still didn't fit in because Optimal Optimus is a very large character. And I think maybe TransArts Toys was kind of like, their hands were tied with, well, how big is this item going to be? And how much are we going to charge? So that's always been a bit of an issue. Their BWM06 Tyrannosaurus, their Transmetal Megatron, looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. Considering I always say how Transmetal Megatron is probably one of the best Transformer villains of all time. To have like a peak perfect version of him, because the original toy suffers from terrible GPS, and God help you if you try to buy that toy and try to transform it. The Japanese version is better with the plastic, but unfortunately the colors aren't 100% accurate. So getting something that's a masterpiece level, and it looks amazing, and it matches that character properly with all those accessories. Wow. BWM07, that's the Rat Trap we're going to talk about later today in this segment. And then we have a whole bunch that haven't come out yet, but we saw teasers of them. And the BWM08 Black Widow, Black Arachnia Transmetal 2 looks amazing. Super excited about that. BWM09 Transmetal 2 Cheetor, again, looks amazing. Can't wait for that. The original toy kind of was hit or miss when it came to articulation and representing what was on the screen. Couldn't really hold its gun properly, too. So I really like to see how they nail that in actual plastic. And BWM10 Transmetal 2 Dinobot, original toy was pretty good, but, you know, let's see how they do it in a masterpiece scale with the extra bells and whistles, probably a laser eye and stuff like that. So let's talk about the Metal Rat, the Transmetal Rattrap. So we go first to the original product. You know, the original Transmetal Rattrap was a great toy, but he was one of those figures that suffered terribly from chrome flaking. It was just the process for that specific figure. A lot of the other Transmetals in that exact same wave didn't suffer from it, but for some reason, his production run it was a nightmare. And he's up there as some of the worst chrome flaking Transformer toys of all time, up there with Beast Machine's Ultra Class Jetstorm, which mint and sealed box copies of it that we still find today have flake chroming off of it, not even being touched. So Rattrap's up there with him. Obviously, the blue repaints, like the Walmart exclusive one, fared better. The 10th anniversary one of that same Rattrap mold had better chrome on it. And, of course, all the Japanese versions, be it exclusives or anything like that, they're also okay, too. But, man, that original had a problem. But even if you removed that, even if you removed, you know, the chrome issue, the mold itself still kind of had its flaws in terms of representing what was on the screen and enjoying that. You know, it didn't have his trademark gun. That was the first big problem. The backpack assembly of how his transformation wasn't accurate to how it looked on the show. So it wasn't 100% accurate when you put it side by side. We'll get into that too with this one because they managed to nail it. It didn't have removable wheels that can make shields, again, which was used in the show. There was a lot of things that were missing that would have been nice. And those are here today. And what's crazy is just how much they nail the chrome, how they nail the metallic paints, because Rattrap in his transmetal form was like super like shiny. The scale looks really good to Optimus Primal, which is very important. It says here it's 15.5 centimeters. For us Americans and Westerners, that's 6.1 inches about. When we get into stuff like the accessories and everything, he comes with his trademark gun. He comes with his tail that's flexible, but he also comes with a tail that could be straight up like a sword like he had. He comes with, again, the removable wheels, which could become shields. He has a whole bunch of clip ports and everything. He has blast accessories, so when he's in his roadie mode or his car mode, he has the little blasting exhaust fire coming from his little exhaust ports to kind of have that too, which, I mean, I can't wait to take photos of this with the Masterpiece Dinobot. Like, it's just going to be great. And then when you look at the actual core figure itself, just the articulation is great. They managed to, again, have the proper backpack aimed the proper way. The fact that the mouth in both the rat mode and the robot mode is articulated. You have an articulated rat mode for the mouth so it could open and close. And then even the robot mode's mouth opens and closes. Articulated hands, which are really cool too. He just looks amazing. I am beyond shocked at how well this turned out. We don't have a release date yet. We don't have a price yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll find out fairly shortly. And if you're someone that has been waiting for Transmetal upgrades in the Masterpiece scale, yeah, Megatron and Optimus, I feel like those could come around the corner within the next couple of years. But stuff like Rattrap, and considering the past that character's had already with toys and its problems for this design, combined with the fact that I don't see the Transmetal happening until they at least do the original design and finish the crew for Masterpiece, you might end up waiting a while before you see something like that. And if you really love this character, this Scott McNeil MVP, this might be something to look into. Again, TransArts Toys BWM07 Metal Rat. Looks amazing. Let me know what you think, guys, and we'll talk again real soon.